Alrighty, tour time. So we're gonna get up in the bus and I can explain where we're at with everything. As you probably saw in the last video and this one, we have made a really good dent on removing the lino from the floors and the fabric from the walls. The floor removal process has gone a lot smoother than we hoped. We are worried that we might need a heat gun or something to be able to heat up the adhesive under the lino and be able to just pull it off. But luckily, with a little extra muscle power, I was able to pry up the majority of it. In removing the lino, we have found some wet areas. They're mostly just over the wheel wells and by the bathrooms at the back. These areas would be places where the water either came up from underneath or got trapped there and absorbed into the flooring. We had considered keeping all the flooring and just removing and replacing what was necessary, but because of the age of the floor and the fact that we're planning on insulating it and raising it up a bit anyway, we'll probably be fully removing all the flooring and replacing it, but it's really reassuring to see that after 20 years it's still in such great condition. So the top vents have had all their fabric removed, and the AC or air vents and lighting units have also been removed, and you can see the wires dangling down there. Removing the fabric left a lovely yellow layer of adhesive on all the metal. So the metal of the top vent hooks up above the ceiling. So our goal is to avoid damaging the ceiling as much as possible. That means that we'll be cutting off the top vents and grinding them down to create a smooth surface and a smooth transition. So the roof vents here are currently our main source of ventilation. The windows in coach buses actually don't open. They're not made to open. So these top vents allow us to just get a little bit of ventilation in, and we'll be using them until we're able to pop the windows out fully. And back here we have the bathroom. As you can see, it's quite a tiny little toilet area. The hand dryer has clearly seen better days. At the moment, it just looks kind of toasted. This locked little box in the back, we actually don't have a key for. And Greg has managed to pry off all the wood trim around it and has worked really hard to get into it to no avail. But we will at one point pry this open and reveal the magic that is the toilet lockbox. So the toilet here will have to be removed as well. The concern we have is that we don't want to remove it before we see how it's put together, because the last thing anyone wants is to have the lovely contents that could be hiding within it explode out over anyone. The walls around the toilet area are actually framed with metal with a metal sheet over top of them. So Greg was hoping for a bit of a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball moment here, removing this wall, but unfortunately a sledgehammer barely makes a dent. Last but not least, all the way back out at the front, we're going to be fully removing the driver's seat, probably the steering wheel, the dashboard, so the whole driving area will definitely get improved. So yep, that was the bus. I hope you enjoyed the tour. We're excited to keep things going and keep you guys updated as we continue the renovation and just the ripping out of everything. Hoping to get the bus back soon, but until then we're just going to keep working at it. As I said, we have all the vents to do and the rest of the metal to get out of there, and we'll have to make a few trips to the dump to empty out the trailer. But everything is going super well, and we're super excited to have you guys along for the ride with us. It'll be interesting to see how it all goes and see how many more angle grinders we kill, but it should be good. See you around. Hello! We're gonna focus on my face. Hey, we are on our way to Redcliffe. We were there a few weeks ago and went to a delicious Greek restaurant. Loved every second of it. But we're gonna try somewhere else this time. We're going to Sutton's Beach. It should be a lovely spot. Maybe get some good footage as well as just some really tasty food. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Perfect, thank you. After a lovely lunch, there's nothing better than a stroll on this gorgeous, gorgeous beach. Oh, I'm blinded. So it's not the warmest day. I mean, it's sunny and beautiful and not raining for once, but it's still a little chilly. I've actually seen kids swimming in this beach behind me. I'm impressed. We had a lovely lunch. I had a veggie burger. Greg had a normal cheeseburger. And then we finished it off with some nice hot chocolate. We have looked it up and there seems to be a bunch of geocaching around. So we're gonna go try to find our very first geocache and see how it goes. Let's go. So we've been using this app for geocaching and wandered around the park. It says it should be around here and the hint is to take a rest. But it's here! It's a notebook that's coiled up. Ah! A little notebook. And a little balloon. Oh, and there's multiple little balloons. Those elastic animal creatures. And from, what is that, May 1st, 2018, Eli and Maddie. Pretty sure the notebook just goes through when different people came here. So it's 2018 or 2017 all the way up until 2018 most recently. There you go, Ranger Rick. Burdens, Woods. Cute little notebook to keep filling up. So we found it. It was a great little geocache with a little notebook and some little treats inside. It's a great idea. I love the idea of geocaching in general, and there's great apps that you can follow along and really report what you found and stuff, and brings you to nice areas like this. I'm excited to do more around Australia. Hey guys, we're here at the airfield. You can't see very much right now. Hey guys, what's up? So we're here at the airfield today. We came and popped by to check out the plane the other day and it was flat, like the battery was dead. So we've gone through some testing for the battery and replaced it, but then in looking into why the battery may have died, the regulator was only putting out 12.8 instead of the 13.8 volts that you need. So that meant that the battery wasn't being charged properly, which could have led to the battery dying, which could have been the issue. So today we have someone out here replacing the regulator. We had to order it from the Gold Coast. They brought it down and hopefully that fixes everything. If not, it means that it may be a bigger issue with the engine, which would have to then be like taken out of the plane and all this stuff. So we're hoping that the regulator fixes it and then we'll be good to fly tomorrow. Good morning, this is your co-pilot Lily speaking. Welcome aboard. Today it looks like a gorgeous day for a fly, so please fasten your seatbelts, tray tables up, and here we go. Today we'll be flying out of Caboolture Airfield, as you can see out your right window here, and heading towards Bribie Island and the Bribie Passage. This is a pretty regular route for us today, just doing the normal loop out to Bribie Island, over by the water and the coastline, and then circling back to the airfield. Because it's such a smooth morning, Greg's actually letting me have a flight. I've gotten quite a bit better over the last few months and can definitely give Greg a run for his money. I mean, what's 20 years of experience, right? It's a clear enough day that you can actually see Stradbroke Island there in the distance, as well as all the boats zooming around in the beautiful blue water below. Flying early in the morning usually allows us to avoid too much turbulence, as the ground hasn't had time to heat up yet. Unfortunately, it also means the sun is right at eye level. Fun fact, Australian trees do not actually grow in straight lines. What you're seeing below are some of Queensland's pine plantations. Being very safety conscious, Greg prefers to fly where he can always see a landing strip. The beach is a perfect option, and it makes for a great view. And out your right window, you'll see the familiar views of Caloundra. We got some great drone footage when we visited a few weeks ago. You can check it out in our previous video. After a little bit more flying around, we decided to head back to the airfield, crossing the Bribie Island Passage and flying along the main highway, which runs along the east coast of Australia from Melbourne all the way up to Cairns. In the distance, you can see the distinct shapes of the Glasshouse Mountains. These mountains were volcanic plugs formed millions of years ago. These mountains have some beautiful walking trails and lookouts at the top. However, let's just say some are highly technical and definitely require a guide of some kind. As we finally are approaching the airfield, we reach one of my favorite parts of the entire flight. Coming in for landing, you end up flying low over the local houses. It almost feels like you can reach out and touch them, or at least wave to someone on the ground. As we approach the airfield, you'll see why Greg's a little embarrassed by this landing. He flared the tiniest bit too much, causing the plane to balloon just before we hit the ground. But I mean, I've offered to show him how it's done. He'll get there one day. Just another 20 years. Well, welcome back to Caboolture Airfield, everyone. Please remain seated until the seatbelt light has been turned off. And thank you for flying with us today. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it.